This feels illegal. I shot these photos on private property without asking for permission or consent. So why did I do it? How did I get away with it? And am I going to jail? This video examines the ethics of taking candid photos of strangers in public places. It's all digital photographs, but I love film photography too, though it can be a bit expensive. If you want to make your pictures look analog without all the price, check out Dehancer. Go to dehancer.com and use promo code LOPRO for 10% off. It works on video and still photography. Okay, back to the show. Now, for legal purposes, I have to clarify that this video is a work of fiction. Everything I say is for entertainment purposes only. In reality, I, Nicholas LoPresti, absolutely, positively, 100% did not take these photographs with my Ricoh GR3X over the course of the last 3 years in and around local establishments like Goodwill and HEB. Okay, that's the disclaimer, but if I did do it, why would I even want to shoot in grocery stores and thrift stores and not just do normal street photography, like out in the street? Well, I would love to. You see, Sarah and I are street photographers, but we live out in the middle of nowhere, Texas. Howdy, man. And we only really get to shoot candid photos of strangers in public spaces whenever we go to Austin, Texas, which costs a lot of money. So if and I want to get in more reps than just once or twice a year, I gotta go where the country crowds congregate. And out here in the sticks, that's either the thrift store or the grocery store. But I ain't just allegedly taking these photos because they're my only option. They also have artistic merit. Now, I'm not saying I went out with some agenda to intentionally build a rebellious body of work that's a commentary on capitalist consumerism. But hey, that's kind of a good idea. I just wanted to take photos, allegedly. But what I see in these photos are people, as they are, out on the town, either running some errands or indulging in some retail therapy. Some people look lost in thought. Maybe this guy's waiting for his wife to hurry up and finish shopping already. Or the wife, frantically flipping through $3 fabrics to find the perfect pattern for her next craft project. I see scowls. I see smiles. I see people living their lives, either on a mundane grocery run or picking through disheveled shelves looking for their next thrift store score. So that's why I would take these photos, allegedly. Okay, we got the motive, but what about the means? How am I able to snap these sneaky shots of people shopping on private property without getting in trouble? Allegedly. Remember, I didn't really take these photos. But if it was me, this is how I'd get away with it. The perfect crime needs the perfect weapon. You need a discreet camera, like the Ricoh GR3X. It's super tiny, so you're not really drawing any unwanted attention, like if you had some big old professional camera hanging around your neck. Plus, when you're actually shopping, instead of taking illegal photos of people, you can just slip it in your pocket. But not only is it small, it's also whisper quiet. Listen to this. Okay, so the tiny camera ain't that loud, but come on, no matter how small and quiet a camera is, doing this ain't that discreet. So how am I allegedly able to pull this up to my eye and frame up so many people shopping while going unnoticed? Well, I'm not. I'm just shooting from the hip, allegedly. You see, I got this nifty little wrist strap on the Ricoh made by Peak Design. Not sponsored, but I am open to it. Anyway, whatever camera you got, if it's on a wrist strap, or no strap if you're a
psychopath.
But whatever, as long as it's not hanging around your neck, you're gonna be a lot more discreet, and you can hold it down here at your hip. That's why they call it hip shooting, cause instead of raising it up to your eye to frame up your subject, you just leave it down at your hip and take the shot. But hip shooting can be a little difficult. Since you can't see what you're doing, you're definitely gonna mess up your framing, like, a lot. And it would probably be a lot easier if I were using the original Ricoh GR3 instead of the GR3X, because the original GR3 has a much wider field of view. The Ricoh GR3X has a 40mm equivalent lens, while every other Ricoh uses a 28mm equivalent. Anyway, I love shooting from the hip, allegedly, because you get these super low angles that make your subject look humongous in the frame. And yeah, you don't need to shoot from the hip to get these super low angles, but if I was gonna drop to a knee in the middle of the aisle to aim up at somebody's double chin, they'd probably notice me. Allegedly. Plus, when you're shooting from the hip, you can't see what you're doing. And when you're shooting blind, more often than not, your horizon line is gonna be askewed, or as Hollywood calls it, the Dutch angle. Personally, I love this topsy-turvy look. It puts the viewer off balance, which can either feel unsettling or whimsical, and it subverts the normalcy of what would otherwise be a pretty mundane shot. And these low Dutch angles almost remind me of being a kid, frantically running up and down the aisles while mom's busy picking through the shelves. You look up and you're surrounded by giants. But unlike my youth, when everything was big smiles and bright colors, these faces of people shopping seem to convey something that my adult mind is all too familiar with. The uncertainty of a suspicious gaze scanning through a crowd of unfamiliar faces. An exhausted, empty stare as you mindlessly flip through a rack of clothes. Bad thoughts, good thoughts, happy or sad. I see a lot that I can relate to in these pictures of people shopping. But again, these people are shopping at a place of business. That means these photos were taken on private property. So any tried and true argument for the legality of street photography in a public place kinda falls flat. So, since I allegedly took these photos on private property, am I going to jail? Well, unlike typical street photography in public places like sidewalks or city streets, where US law allows you to take pictures of whatever or whoever you want, taking pictures of strangers at Goodwill or HEB is not protected under the First Amendment. Good thing I only allegedly took those photos. But while I don't have a constitutional right to take unflattering photos of Goodwill patrons fighting over a dress, or the people of Walmart buying condoms and shotguns, taking those photos is not a criminal offense. Now, does that mean I get to go full Gildan and start blasting people with my flash every time I go on a beer run? No. Any supermarket or thrift store, even if it's open to the public, is still private property. So if they tell you to get lost, but you don't comply, you're gonna get arrested for trespassing. Do it enough, and you're gonna get banned, and you'll
Never go thrifting again.
Is life even worth living without thrifting? Okay, so just don't be a jerk, don't get caught, and just like with normal street photography, don't use identifiable photos of people for commercial purposes. Hey wait, this is a monetized YouTube video. Isn't that commercial use? Well, I am skirting a gray area here, but as long as my video is considered an editorial piece, I should be fine. So I'm probably fine, because this video is a thoughtful commentary on the ethics and artistic merit of candid photography captured in unconventional places. I'm a real artiste. Now, there are limits to what I can do with these photos, but I am 100% within my rights to print them out, frame them up, hang them in a gallery, and sell them as art. Allegedly. But if I printed this guy's face on t-shirts or mugs or stickers and sold them at madebylopro.com, I'd probably get sued. But I could put together a photo book and sell that on my website. Let me know if you want a signed copy of People Shopping by LoPresti. Would you buy it? So that's the law, but what's legal isn't always right. So what about ethics, and where do I draw the line? I admit it does feel a little icky taking these photos, but do I feel like a bad guy for doing so? No. I mean, everywhere we go, we're getting recorded by AI-powered security cameras that track our every move. These all-knowing systems build profiles on each and every one of us and predict what route we're gonna take through the store and what products we're gonna buy. Then that data gets abused to artificially inflate the prices of products that they know we're going to buy, so they can squeeze us dry. Not to mention the AI companies that run these cameras for the retailers, they sell all that data to law enforcement agencies. So everyone from the CIA, NSA, FBI, and your local PD know everything about you. And now they're intentionally tanking the dollar so we'll beg for a centralized banking digital currency. And that's the final nail in the coffin. They'll know where we are and what we're doing at all times. And if we set foot outside of our predetermined track, they'll fine us, freeze our assets, or decide what we can or cannot buy. So no, I don't think I'm doing anything wrong when I take a picture of you out shopping. But where do I draw the line? Well, I never aim my lens at employees, because it's not like they're there by choice. I used to work at Walmart, and I was never exactly thrilled to be there. So if I was taking photos of all the wage slaves, I'd feel gross, like I was shooting through the bars of a human zoo. And then, of course, kids. Don't take pictures of minors. Even if you get an epic shot, it's not worth it and it's just f***ing creepy. But am I a creep? Okay, let me know down in the comments below if you think I'm an unethical creep for taking these photos. Or if you like the photos, let me know in the comments so I can get an ego boost. If you hated this video and you hate me, go ahead and hit that dislike button to let me know. But if you like it and you think I'm cute, hit that like button and share this video to all your friends. And if you want to know when I post all my videos, please subscribe, ring the bell icon, turn on all notifications, and hype this video. Thank you, Internet. I'm Nick. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Well, we did it. I gotta pee so bad. Please, please, please go to madebylopro.com to check out the merch I have for sale. Sign up for the newsletter so you know when new merch comes out, and consider giving what you can to help me make analog fun again. You get your name at the bottom of the screen, like Spencer, like Juan, like Brock, like Jesse, and Hill. We're growing. 5 strong, LoPresti army, baby. Shoot more, think less, baby. What should they say? Peter Thiel? Thought police? Say
allegedly.
Since this video, you know, it kind of had a conspiratorial turn. Say
allegedly
down below if you made it this far. Anyway, anything else to add, babe?
Merch coming soon!
New merch coming soon. New t-shirts coming soon.
Nick can get his shit together.
I gotta design some shirts. Okay, remember, shoot more, think less, and auf Wiedersehen, because I say that all the time, I guess. Bye, Internet. See you guys later.